Hello everyone, here's our latest video update on this Friday evening on Typhoon Soulik as it continues to move just south of the southern Japanese islands on its way towards Taiwan. The system was last located approximately 60 kilometers southeast of Ishigaki, a small island here inhabited by about 50,000 people. Or about 280 kilometers southeast of the city of Taipei in Taiwan. The maximum sustained winds have gone down to 140 kilometers per hour with gusts of up to 195 kilometers per hour. Now the system is currently moving west-northwesterly at 20 kilometers per hour, and you can see in this latest visible satellite image that chain of islands here very close to that eye wall, and system again continuing to move on a west-northwesterly course towards the island of Taiwan. And you can also see on the southern part of this image the Babuyan group of islands, which are now under signal number 2 according to Pag-asa, also expecting some strong winds and some light to moderate rain showers impacting those regions beginning tonight. Now, as for the latest infrared image, the system has regained some sort of showing some sort of improvement, although the winds have been lowered both by Joint Typhoon Warning Center and JMA, again due to the lack of impressive convective activity. System has been undergoing an eye wall replacement cycle for almost 36 hours now, and the latest microwave image still showing that inner eye wall, the southern half of it, is still somewhat intact. It still hasn't eroded as of yet, and that large concentric eye wall really can't contract and take over just yet. And again, those eye wall now moving into those Japanese islands, and that image is supported nicely here by the radar image from Miyakojima and Yayama region, where you can see those that outer eye wall moving into the islands, and you still have that inner eye wall. Again, matches up perfectly with the microwave image that we showed here. Now, as for the radar, you can see here some light to moderate rains moving across the islands, could drop 10 to 20 millimeters per hour. Inner eye walls also showing those light to moderate rains, and can even drop to 30 millimeters per hour. And also much of the rainfall actually situated on the southern side of the system. Looking back to the infrared image, this is the eye of Soulik, and much of the convection is actually located on the southern end of the storm. So heavy rains could also extend as far south as, say, Babuyan, and even parts of southern Taiwan could see up to 200 millimeters of rain. Now, since Soulik is moving very closely to the Japanese islands, we're now starting to see some very strong wind reports out of the region. In fact, looking at the latest wind map from JMA, you can see some sustained winds of near typhoon strength, 100 to 120 kilometers per hour, now being reported in these islands. And remember, these are sustained winds. We've received reports of gusts of as high as 160 kilometers per hour, and even Okinawa, which is farther north of the system, reported seeing winds of 130 to 140 kilometers per hour earlier today. So that gives you an idea of how wide the wind field of Soulik is. And again, the system continuing to move west-northwesterly. Expect those winds to continue, those strong winds to continue throughout the night, and will only start to die down as you move into Saturday morning. But that's a different case for Taiwan, obviously, as they are expected to begin seeing those typhoon-force winds later tonight, with landfall expected tomorrow morning. So expect those worst conditions to occur, say, between 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. local time, and that also translates into Taipei, which is also under the forecast track of many agencies. Now, obviously, aside from the winds, we're also watching the threat of heavy rainfall. And again, showing you the latest forecast from one of the computer models that we use. This is again the COAMS model again showing up to 400 millimeters on the southern side, 500 millimeters actually on the southern side of Taiwan, again due to the convection remaining mostly in the southern end of the system. Northern portions of Taiwan, including Taipei, could still see up to 200, maybe even 300 millimeters of rainfall over the next 72 hours, and also that translates into southeastern China, where we also expect Soulik to eventually move into by Saturday. Could see some rainfall amounts of up to 200, maybe even 300 millimeters there as well. So again, these are dangerous amounts of rainfall we're talking about that could cause some widespread landslides and even flash floods, especially here in Taiwan, where the geography is actually really mountainous, especially on the eastern end. Now, as for the 3-day forecast here, we have JMA again forecasting a track brushing the northern tip of the island, passing just north of Taipei by the landfall time is about 5 a.m. local time. So again, early Saturday morning, making its second and hopefully final landfall here in the province of Fujian by Saturday afternoon, perhaps as a weakening Category 1 typhoon. Finally, we have the Joint Typhoon Warning Center, which is a track slightly further south compared to JMA, tracking Soulik actually just south of Taipei. Same timing here, landfall point around 4 to 5 a.m. local times tomorrow morning, Friday, and then a second landfall by Saturday afternoon out here in the province of Fujian. Joint Typhoon Warning Center also keeping Soulik as a weakening typhoon as it makes that second landfall.